Do you have any thoughts on Not Your Shield? Do you remember this at all?
I do remember Not Your Shield, yeah. Yeah, I do. That was fun. That felt really good. I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good being part of that.
Oh, you were part
Tweeting.
of it?
No, I mean tweeting about that back in the day, like seeing it happen as an observer back then when you tweeted about it, like that feeling that you get that you were part of something, even though it was all just social media stuff, is yeah. That's one thing that really like it harkens back to what we briefly touched on previously. The fact that people can get this sense that they're part of a movement through just shit posted on social media, that is something that kind of worries me to a degree. That you can instill that feeling in someone.
So, well,
Yeah.
you said that it went to a dark place. So what do you think happened exactly?
In retrospect, I really think it was Sargon, mostly. He was the one who just became, as time passed by, I'd have to watch his old videos, but he I remember like when I got kicked out of the anti-SJW sphere in 2017, I did this thing with friends of mine, which we called the skeptic autopsies, where we just looked at all the videos that we have made through the last 2, 3 years and just tried to sort of come to a conclusion of what the fuck went wrong? What did we do wrong? What went wrong here? And it's very obvious. It was very obvious to us back then that what happened is that Sargon just became more and more and more and more right wing with every passing month, more and more and more right wing, and people just moved along with him, and he managed to successfully push things more and more right wing. While interestingly, he kept calling himself a liberal. These days, I don't really care much about him anymore because a few years ago he finally came out of the closet and just said, "I'm a conservative," which he is. You know, he's a very right wing conservative. But yeah, in retrospect, what went wrong is GamerGate initially, I think, was an alliance that was cross political, right? Like
Sure,
most
yeah.
people who participated in it was cross political. And then a right wing segment of it dominated it and just pushed it more and more to the right wing.
I know that they definitely tried. So you think that they were successful then?
Definitely some of them were. Certainly. I don't see, like, you're one of the first old gamergaters that I meet who isn't right wing. Like most old gamergaters who are not right wing, they don't go around and tell people that they were part of Gamergate.
What do you so do you think that's because you were more in like the YouTube community, and like a lot of the people you know were those anti-ship YouTubers?
Yeah, definitely. In YouTube, like it's the right wing sphere, it's the right wing political sphere which managed to claim almost complete ownership of the Gamergate hashtag and the Gamergate movement, at least on YouTube.
So the reason I ask is because I've asked everybody about the politics of GamerGate. I'm going to ask you about it too, I guess. I guess we could have already talked about it, but and almost nobody thinks it was right wing except for Michael Koretsky.
No, it wasn't.
And
Like I felt I
yeah,
was very left wing. Like
and I know we
yeah, most
have
people didn't.
I know we have data from Chris Ferguson and Brad Glasgow survey. Are you familiar with that one? The one in December 2015, January 2016.
I saw that there were polls being taken, and they showed that people were largely left wing who
Yeah,
supported Gamergate.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that was actually a peer-reviewed paper too. That got published years later in 2019. Um, and then I ask people too. I have an optional survey, and I know how people are going to vote in the upcoming election. And out of 27 respondents, I think it was, or something close to that, because it's only the people I've interviewed, but I've tried to get a diverse cross sample of various different communities, and only 30% of them are going for Trump, and 30% are going for Biden,
Yeah.
and about 40% are undecided,
Yeah.
or third party, or not voting. Yeah, of the Americans, because obviously there's a lot of non-American Gamergate people too. Almost half of them are non-Americans. So I just don't see. I know that like Milo tried. I guess Sargon. Well, Sargon didn't really try because he was of the view that Gamergate was over after AirPlay. He tried
Yeah, and I
pushing that
stuck with
idea.
him. I
Yeah.
stuck with him after that. Yeah. So that segment, like he basically, he carved out an audience from it and sort of formed this little kingdom out of it, his little fiefdom. Yeah.
But I don't see it as like a successful attempt. Like I know Milo definitely
It
tried to take it in
might
like a
be,
political direction.
it might be in retrospect a great place to study how movements can be hijacked. Like that might be something worth looking into at some point in the future. Because yeah, you're absolutely right about this. Because I remember when I was still tweeting GamerGate and was in the groups. Sorry, burp there. I hope that didn't disrupt things too much. Um, yeah, I considered myself very left wing back then. Most people did. Most people I talked to. But still, it brought forth something completely different. At least on YouTube. Don't know about the other places that much.
I'm just so you push back on me on this by all means, but I just don't I don't see it as like if so like for instance one of the Glasgow questions and Ferguson questions was if people go to Breitbart for their news, and it was only 6% of the GamerGate people in their survey. It was almost 1,000 people, and they verified every single one of them was had made past comments about GamerGate, and only 6% of them went to Breitbart. So it's just like it just seems like yeah, if I know they tried to hijack it like Breitbart did in Milo and like these other right
Mhm.
wing actors, but it doesn't seem like they were successful if they only got 6% of people to trust them.
No, I don't think so because, well, I sorry, why did I say no? I kind of agree with you with this because I think that a lot of people just when these attempts to hook their politics into it and to hook people out and make them part of something else started coming in, that a lot of people just dumped and left. Like that's basically the story of it. The more people try to stuff their own stuff into it, their own politics into it, to hijack it, to make it their own thing, the more people just left, basically.
Yeah, I do think a lot of people definitely left over time, especially after Airplay. And that was sort of like a coordinated effort too. Like people like Game Diviner and Sargon actually tried to get people to end Gamergate after Airplay, basically. Sargon even made that
Yeah.
video, "The Victory of Gamergate," and then Paulo tried. Did he talk to you at all, Game Diviner, with his plan to get everybody on board?
I don't think he did, no. I
Okay.
mean, usually when people, I think we can let your audience, when we started talking again, like I asked you, why would you want to talk to me about this? I wasn't all, I wasn't really a creator back at GamerGate. I wasn't one at all. Like I jumped on later when the anti-SJW thing became a really big thing. Yeah.
Thank you for watching another Gamergate book video segment. For 30 days, starting on December 9th, I'm running a Kickstarter campaign for this project, so please back the campaign for the people of Gamergate on Kickstarter or at gamergatebook.com. This project investigating and documenting the history of Gamergate from a variety of perspectives requires your support, and I appreciate it. Thank you.